Hello, my dear Research 2 students. Okay, so one of the scariest moments in the process of writing has arrived, the literature review. But don't worry, I'm going to give you some pointers, some tips that are going to make the process a lot easier. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so remember that we are talking about a puzzle, right? We have the pieces, we have the borders, that is our matrix. We are on and we're making the figure. Every time the figure is looking better. Now it's time to show the figure completely to our viewer, our reader. Okay, so we're gonna put the pieces together. So let's remember these little very important points. 20 to 25 resources is the number of articles you should have if your thesis is any kind of research. And you should have 35 if your research is a documentary study. Give me 1 second. Also, remember that this is a process and processes have steps. So you already identified your keywords, variables, or constructs and your research and your search strings. You searched between 20 and 35 articles on the different databases or Google Scholar, which is wonderful. You read strategically, plus you organized your articles in your matrix. You color-coded to see the most important ones. Some of you even went up to this point. You need to create an outline for your literature review section and you need to write it. So we are now on the final steps, right? If you haven't color-coded your matrix, go ahead and do that right now. Then you can create your outline and you know how to create an outline. You have written 1,000 papers in college, so you just need to organize hierarchically the topics that you're going to be discussing in your literature review, right? So you're going to identify the order, and I have some tips here to know how to do that, okay? And then you're gonna just write the section. So this is your matrix. You already color-coded that. That's noted. Remember that the colors are going to help you organize the order, the hierarchy of writing of your document. So right now, the most important part is to create the outline and to write the section. Okay, I won't be checking the outline. However, you need to do it. That's something that is going to help you write better. And I know some of you advanced the writing of your literature review in Research 1, so please take a look at that document and revise it. Does it have all of the information that I'm going to mention from now on? If it doesn't, rearrange it and organize the writing. So you should have an introduction, right? No heading that says introduction. You just have a little piece. So your heading is literature review. Then you're going to have this introduction that is going to signpost. It's going to tell the reader what you're going to write about in this section. What are the topics? What are the categories of articles that you found? You can write a sentence summarizing each main finding, right? So for example, this paper presents the literature around the topic of flipped learning between 2010 and 2020. Flipped learning has been used because of the increase in motivation that people evidence with this method. It also has shown that there is not a big achievement gap between classes who use flipped learning and classes that don't, etc. You know what I mean? So it's like briefly state the main findings that you have at this point. So remember that you are the researcher. You are the one in charge of doing the analysis, not the reader. So remember, the literature review is not a collection of studies, but your presentation of them. You will do the sorting and organizing exercise to show the topic to the reader. So this is not something where you say that Perez 2010 said this, and Andrea said this, and the other said that. But you are going to create an original narrative that is going to walk us through what you found. So it's not like you give us, like all the different little teeny tiny containers disorganized, but you put them in the buckets and you show us the buckets. So to begin the literature review, you can use sentence stems like research on bilingualism, for example, the topic is scarce, plentiful, ample, limited. It all depends on your topic. And there are many, some, several, a lot of articles from the globe, region, world that discuss, explain, expose, blah, 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 right? You can use this kind of to organize your writing. The studies on bilingualism generally focus on distributed bilingualism, separate, whatever, like sub-concepts. Then the literature reviewed includes studies on bilingualism, bilingual education, and bilingualism and biliteracy, or that verbs, so that present, expose, evidence, etc. Okay, this is a way in which you can write. You can also, or you need to, you need to state the purpose of the literature review clearly. Yeah. So the purpose of this literature review is to show or present or elaborate, etc., the main findings, right? The literature on English language teaching, motivation, virtual learning will be shown in the following section. Okay, so use headings to present the groups of studies you found in your review. And remember, here we need to use the headings according to APA style. So as I showed you once in class, these are the headings that you are going to be using. So the level 1 is centered, bold, uppercase, and lowercase heading. The number 2 is left align, bold, uppercase, etc. So you follow this. There's no numbering in APA. So just use this heading formatting. And what are the headings for? Well, the headings are for providing the hierarchy of groups, the hierarchy of concepts. How are you going to place them? You begin with the group that is more general, or the one with the more studies. Like you have your literature matrix and you have one topic that has 12 articles. That's the one that should go first. And then you start organizing the order based on that criteria, right? Which concept is the most important? Present the other groups in the order you see fit. You can make the call, you can make your decision basing yourself on the importance of your constructs. Remember that the different studies are going to fall within the categories of your different constructs. So use those constructs to establish the order in which you are going to write your literature review. A writing tip. To present the groups of documents, use sentences like 3 studies from India, whatever, or Latin America, a number of studies or several studies about this and that, and then add an in-text citation with authors from the mentioned studies at the end of these sentences, in parentheses. Please do not say lots of research, several studies, lots of studies, and then don't put the names of the authors there. That is just an unsubstantiated sentence. You need to add the backup, the support, the substantiation, and that is the authors. So remember that you're synthesizing, not merely presenting what you read. This is not an annotated bibliography. This is a literature review. So remember, the synthesizing is about forming by combining parts or elements to synthesize a statement, is opposed to analyze it. Analyze it is what you did with the literature matrix. You finished that process. Now the next process is to synthesize, to start building connections, to start combining the different studies into new ideas. So there is another really cute thing here that says to take what you know and put it together with new knowledge in order to reevaluate your thinking. So you have the category and you're going to present the studies in such a way that it shows the new learning, okay? So you got this, you can do this. There are some additional recommendations for people who are doing a documentary study, but they are coming in a different video. Okay, everyone, I hope you like this, and I hope if you have questions, you just write them to me on the Google Classroom, or you contact me, whatever, via you see fit. Bye-bye.